will come into play.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. What a move! Taylor Randall has moved up to 4th.
That's what we like to see. Taylor Randall is really showing their class today.
Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Benjamin Till in 5th and Joni Geldenhuys. It's been tense with a gap of only 0.3 seconds.
It's not over yet. Joni Geldenhuys is right on Benjamin Till's tail, and if they can find just a little bit of extra speed, they might be able to make a move.
Every move counts now as Joni Geldenhuys works to reel in Benjamin Till and overtake for P5. That won't be ideal for Willem Immelman. Things are heating up as Francois Haynes closes in on Adrian Jonker. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. A great pass for Francois Haynes as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, breaking alert. Oh dear, Jamie Nichols has had an incident. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
This is not going to be an easy pass to make.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tyre barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
Oh, this is getting intense. Lucan Haynes is just a few car lengths behind Lyle Ramsey. The pursuit is on. Rudy Graham, number 119, is closing the gap on Benjamin Till, determined to claim P19.
It's a game of strategy now as Rudy Graham, number 119,
Breaking development. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. Joni Geldenhuys is giving it their all as they chase down Taylor Randall in P4.
That driver is really pushing the limits. They're riding the curbs and pushing the car to its limits.
Oh dear, Joni Geldenhuys has dropped down to 6th. This is proving to be an exciting race so far. We are truly privileged. Breaking alert. Great driving from Joni Geldenhuys, who has just gained a place and moved up to 5th. The pressure is on for Rowan Grayling as they try to catch up to JP Brand. This is where the race gets really interesting. Dylan Visagie is closing in on Taylor Randall.
Dylan Visagie is looking to close the 0.4 second gap and make a pass.
The race is really heating up. Benjamin Till is hunting down Lucan Haynes with everything they've got.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Benjamin Till needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
Superb driving from Benjamin Till, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. Look at that, Lucan Haynes is hot on the tail of Benjamin Till. This is a thrilling battle as Rowan Grayling edges closer to JP Brand in their fight for P2. Dylan Visagie is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 1.52 seconds down. In your experience, Carl, what was the most challenging aspect of maintaining concentration during a race?
The most challenging aspect, Carol, was managing the various inputs and distractions during the race, from radio communication with the team to monitoring car performance and race strategy. It's a delicate balancing act that requires immense mental discipline.
It's an intense battle for position as Dirk Lewis tries to outmaneuver Mike Ramsey. This is edge of your seat racing. The battle for 17 is heating up as Benjamin Till tries to catch Lucan Haynes in P17. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. Fantastic move from Rowan Grayling, who has just gained a position. Let's talk about tire degradation. Carl, how does it affect the car's handling, and what do drivers need to do to adapt to the changing conditions?
Tire degradation can significantly impact handling, Carol. As the tires wear, the grip reduces, and drivers need to adjust their braking points, cornering speeds, and throttle application to maintain control of the car.
Things are heating up as Dylan Visagi tries to close the gap to Richard Reshka. Mike Ramsey is running 10th. They are trying to catch Dirk Lewis.
The gap between them is just over 0.3 seconds, which can feel like miles if you're trailing and not catching up.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Lucan Haynes is chasing Benjamin Till in P17. Every move counts now as JP Brand works to reel in Rowan Grayling and overtake for P2.
This is where every inch counts. JP Brand is pushing hard to close the gap on Rowan Grayling. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing.
Oh, the pressure is really getting to Dylan Visagi. They've just lost 6th spot to Richard Reshka and they need to regroup quickly. In racing, anything can, and usually does, happen, especially in such an epic showdown. It looks like Richard Reshka is in control. They're ahead of Dylan Visagi by over a second, and it doesn't look like they're going to be challenged anytime soon.
Dylan Visagi is certainly pushing all they can.
Braking alert. Great driving from Joni Geldenhuys, who has just gained a place and moved up to 5th. Oh, this is getting intense. Richard Reshka is just behind Dylan Visagi. A great moment for Richard Reshka, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. Well, it looks like we have a bit of a traffic jam on the track.
It's like rush hour out there. I mean, I know we're in a race, but can't we all just get along?
You can wish all you want, but I don't think that's how racing works, Carl. These drivers are here to win, and they'll do whatever it takes to get ahead.
I guess you're right, but wouldn't it be great if they all just stopped for high fives and fist bumps?
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Christian Hirsch trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Francois Haynes. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. It's all about consistency for Danny Van Ruyen, who is currently first.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Richard Reshka will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. Good news for Richard Reshka, the gap to Taylor Randall has decreased. It's now down to 0.6 seconds.
Exactly what Richard Reshke needed. They can't afford to lose any more ground to Taylor Randall.
A solid performance from Ruan Grayling, who is holding down second.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Ruan Grayling has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
Christian Hirsch is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're...
Braking alert. Great driving from Joni Geldenhuis, who has just gained a place and moved up to 5th. Francois Haynes wants to close that gap with Christian Hirsch.
There is no room for error in this battle.
Braking alert. Great driving from Joni Geldenhuis, who has just gained a place and moved up to 5th. Oh, this is getting intense. Richard Reshka is just a few car lengths behind Taylor Randall. Benjamin Till is giving it their all as they chase down Christian Hirsch in P13. Wow, Richard Reshka is really pushing hard to catch up to Taylor Randall. There's blood in the water for 4th place.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
Breaking news, folks. Dylan Bizagi is in the pits. Taylor Randall could be looking for a way up the inside of Richard Reshka. Big gains for Taylor. Breaking news, folks. Dylan Bizagi is in the pits. It's a battle out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. A brilliant maneuver from Benjamin Till, who has just moved up the field. Christian Hirsch has the pedal to the metal chasing Benjamin Till. Things are going according to plan for commentator, who is currently 29th.
Definitely Carroll, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
The tension is building as Christian Hirsch trails behind Benjamin Till. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Benjamin Till is pushing to maintain the lead, while Christian Hirsch is working to close in and challenge for the position. It's a battle of wills out there, with Mike Ramsey trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Joni Geldenhuis. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
It's going to be
Wait, Joni Geldenhuis has decided to pit. The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Richard Reshka in 5th chases after Jacobus. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Richard Reshka needs to find a way to close the gap. Hold up, breaking info. Joni Geldenhuis is pitting. Look at that, they're trading places in every turn, a constant game of cat and mouse. Each driver knows one mistake could cost them dearly.
You hit the nail on the head, Carroll. The elite drivers truly stand out in moments like these. They have a sixth sense for identifying weaknesses and capitalizing on them with surgical precision.
It's looking good for Danny Van Ruyen, sitting in 1st.
That's right,
Breaking alert. It looks like Ruan Grayling has been called into the pits. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Richard Reshka, who is currently in P5. But Jacobus is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Richard Reshka.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Jacobus is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Richard Reshke in P5 doing everything they can to catch up.
Breaking alert. Ruan Grayling is in the pits. The pursuit is on. Jacobus is closing the gap on Richard Reshka, determined to claim P3.
We'll have to wait to see if Jacobus can use the draft to their advantage, or if the lack of downforce will hinder their progress.
Ronnie Jonker is looking for an opportunity to get round Ruan Grayling. A strong showing from commentator, who is currently 29th. This is where the race gets really interesting. Ronnie Jonker is closing in on Ruan Grayling.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Ronnie Jonker needs to be careful not to overdo it.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Taylor Randall will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. Hold on a moment. JP Brand has decided to pit. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Taylor Randall trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Jacobus. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Hold on to your hats, folks. Ruan Grayling is right on the heels of Mike Ramsey, and we're in for a wild ride.
When I was racing, we had a saying, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Ruan Grayling is definitely living on the edge today.
Stop the press. Ronnie Jonker is pitting. The race is really heating up. Benjamin Till is hunting down Jamie Nichols with everything they've got.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Benjamin Till should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Jamie Nichols.
What a move. Benjamin Till has moved up to 9th.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
During your racing career, Carl, did you have any Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Mike Ramsey has pulled into the pits. The tension is building as Jacobus trails behind Taylor Randall. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Taylor Randall is pushing to maintain the lead, while Jacobus is working to close in and challenge for the position.
This is
Stop the press. It looks like Danny Van Ruyen has been called into the pits. The delta between Jamie Nichols in 9th and Benjamin Till remains over a second, but Jamie Nichols is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 20 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
That's right, Jamie Nichols in 9th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Benjamin Till is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
Hold up, breaking info. Danny Van Ruyen has decided to pit. The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Taylor Randall in 3rd chases after Jacobus. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Taylor Randall needs to find a way to close the gap. Hold up, breaking info. Lyle Ramsey is in the pits. The race is heating up as Taylor Randall in 3rd closes in on Jacobus. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. It looks like Lucan Haynes is pushing hard to catch up to Adrian Jonker. That's not a small gap, but Lucan Haynes has what it takes to challenge for the position. An impressive showing from Lucan Haynes, who has gained positions and left Adrian Jonker in the dust.
Absolutely, Lucan Haynes is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There is still plenty of challenges ahead.
Taylor Randall is placed third at the moment. Looks like Danny Van Ruyen is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about
braking development. Jacobus has pulled into the pits. The gap between Danny Van Ruyen and Taylor Randall is razor thin as they vie for first in this nail-biting contest.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them valuable time and the position.
The braking update. It looks like Richard Reshka has been called into the pits. Dylan Visagie has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Dirk Ruiz. I expect their only hope at this point is that Dirk Ruiz makes an error.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
Superb driving from Dylan Visagie, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
Absolutely, Dylan Visagie is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
You can feel the tension in the air.
The drivers are all focused, putting everything on the line for a chance at victory, pushing themselves and their machines to the limit.
And let's not forget about the incredible machines themselves.
Absolutely, it's amazing to think about the kind of engineering and innovation that goes into making these vehicles. But it all comes down to the drivers, who have to be able to handle the power and speed. It's going to be thrilling seeing how this race turns out.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Dylan Visagie will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. Look, hold on a second. Taylor Randall is pitting. Hold on a second. Taylor Randall is pitting. They're going side by side, door handle to door handle. This is as close as it gets, folks. I would not be surprised if these drivers swap positions a few times before the order gets ultimately decided.
Absolutely, Carol, the slipstream plays.
Hold up, breaking info. Christian Hirsch is in the pits. Things don't seem to be going Dylan Visagie's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. Hold on a second. Christian Hirsch has pulled into the pits. The gap between Dirk Ruiz and Dylan Visagie is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Dirk Ruiz to even allow Dylan Visagie to get a look in.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Dylan Visagie is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
Hold on a second. Christian Hirsch has pulled into the pits. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Richard Reshka, who is currently in P6. But Jamie Nichols is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Richard Reshka. Fantastic move. Hold on a second. It looks like Jamie Nichols has been called into the pits. The delta between Dylan Visagie in 9th and Dirk Ruiz remains over a second, but Dylan Visagie is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 14 minutes left in this session to make that happen. Great driving from Dylan Visagi, who has just gained a place and moved up to 8th.
Yes, Dylan Visagi is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
Hold on a second. Jamie Nichols has decided to pit. It looks like Dylan Visagi is pushing hard to catch up to Dirk Ruiz. That's not a small gap, but Dylan Visagi has what it takes to challenge for the position.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Dylan Visagi in 8th determined to catch up. But we know Dirk Ruiz isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Dylan Visagi is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
The race is heating up as Lyle Ramsey in 13th closes in on Jamie Nichols. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
It's going to be tough for Lyle Ramsey, as Jamie Nichols seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Lyle Ramsey pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
It's looking good for Joni Geldenhuys, sitting in 6th. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Lyle Ramsey trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Jamie Nichols. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. A strong showing from Danny Van Ruyen, who is currently 1st.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Danny Van Ruyen has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
Hold up, breaking info. Dirk Ruiz is pitting. It's a game of inches now as Jamie Nichols tails Dirk Ruiz closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. A brilliant maneuver from Jamie Nichols, who has just moved up the field. A solid performance from JP Brand, who is holding down 2nd.
Definitely Carroll, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Dylan Visagi in 7th chases after Joni Geldenhuys. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Dylan Visagi needs to find a way to close the gap. Dylan Visagi could be on a charge here, Carl. They have just put in a quicker lap than Joni Geldenhuys.
We will have to see if Joni Geldenhuys has got any answers for that.
Well, it doesn't look like Dirk Ruiz is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Jamie Nichols.
It's not over till the checkered flag drops, though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
Looks like we've had a few incidents out there.
Someone forgot to take their driving lessons. They're making more U-turns than a confused tourist.
Hilarious. I think they might need to call their GPS for directions. Maybe it can help them navigate the track. It's a battle of wills out there, with Ruan Grayling trying to outsmart and outmaneuver JP Brand. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish. It looks like we might get a battle between Ruan Grayling and JP Brand.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
I love being here at Watkins Glen Boot Classic. What an awesome place to be witnessing these titans of the track battle it out.
Indeed, Carol, what a magnificent sight and sound. I love listening to the roar of these engines. Let's just listen for a moment.
The tension is building as Ruan Grayling trails behind JP Brand. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. JP Brand is pushing to maintain the lead, while Ruan Grayling is working to close in and challenge for the position. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Richard Reshka, who is currently in P5. But Benjamin Till is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Richard Reshka.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as Richard Reshke tries to reel in Benjamin Till. But Benjamin Till is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Richard Reshke needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Benjamin Till and move up the field.
It looks like Ruan Grayling is pushing hard to catch up to JP Brand. That's not a small gap, but Ruan Grayling has what it takes to challenge for the position. Richard Reshka has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Benjamin Till. I expect their only hope at this point is that Benjamin Till makes an error.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
The gap between Richard Reshka and Benjamin Till is getting smaller.
This is where the race gets really exciting. Both drivers will be pushing to the limit to gain the advantage.
Things don't seem to be going Dirk I's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Dirk Uys is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
It's a close race between Richard Reshka and Benjamin Till in fourth.
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
This is what it's all about, folks. Christian Hirsch is in hot pursuit of Lyle Ramsey, who's just trying to stay ahead.
One wrong move and we could see a spectacular new synchronized pirouette performance by Christian Hirsch and Lyle Ramsey, though I doubt the judges would give them a perfect score.
Lyle Ramsey seems to be putting the pressure on Christian Hirsch.
And if you're enjoying the racing, please remember to like and subscribe.
A great moment for Lyle Ramsey, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
You can't argue with results like that. Lyle Ramsey is really making their mark on this race.
This is a thrilling battle as Christian Hirsch edges closer to Lyle Ramsey in their fight for P13.
It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Christian Hirsch needs to stay patient and wait for Lyle Ramsey to make a mistake.
No room for error here. Richard Reshka is breathing down the neck of Benjamin Till, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
That's right, Richard Reshke is determined to pass Benjamin Till and secure a higher position.
The adrenaline is pumping as Benjamin Till gets within striking distance of Richard Reshka in their race for fourth. Seems like Jamie Nichols is getting in range of Ronnie Jonko.
I might have said this before, but dog, bone, you know the rest.
Things are heating up as Dirk Uys tries to close the gap to Jamie Nichols. It's a thrilling pursuit as Lyle Ramsey is right behind Christian Hirsch, keeping the pressure on for 13th place.
It's going to be a close one. Lyle Ramsey will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
Lyle Ramsey has moved up to 13th. You know, Carl, as a former racing driver yourself, can you give us some insights into what goes through a driver's mind during these quieter moments in a race?
Sure, Carol. During these moments, drivers often take the opportunity to assess their race strategy, monitor their car's performance, and plan their next move. It's all about staying focused and finding the right time to strike.
Dirk Ruiz wants to find a way round Ronnie Jonker. The race is heating up as Lucan Haynes in 14th closes in on Lyle Ramsey. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. The pressure is on for Ruan Grayling as they try to catch up to JP Brand. We got a close battle as Dirk Ruiz closes in on Ronnie Jonker. And Dirk Ruiz has just won the place from Ronnie Jonker.
Definitely, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. Dirk Ruiz needs to keep driving with focus and intensity.
A setback for Dirk Ruiz, who has just been passed. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. It's looking good for JP Brand, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Ruan Grayling. It looks like Ruan Grayling is all over JP Brand. I think they are gonna press them through turn 5, outer loop, and try and press for a mistake.
For sure, Carol, that's exactly what I would be doing here, as JP Brand is gonna be aware of them riding their bumper. To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble at the boundary of disaster.
Ronnie Jonker is on a mission, chasing Dirk Ruiz, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
I would not be surprised if they get this pass completed soon.
Every move counts now as Ruan Grayling works to reel in JP Brand and overtake for P2.
Ruan Grayling needs to focus if they want to make a move and pass JP Brand.
The delta between Ronnie Jonker in 12th and Dirk Ruiz remains over a second, but Ronnie Jonker is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 1 minute left in this session to make that happen. Ruan Grayling is running third. They are trying to catch JP Brand.
With just 0.3 seconds between them, Ruan Grayling will need to close the gap to have hopes of a pass.
A great pass for Ruan Grayling as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, JP Brand has lost ground. JP Brand wants to get into Ruan Grayling's slipstream. This is getting exciting. JP Brand is looking for any gap that might open up the position.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for JP Brand to make up that gap, especially with Ruan Grayling defending so well.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with JP Brand trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Ruan Grayling. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts.
Absolutely, JP Brand in third will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
The leader has just finished the race. A fantastic result for Danny Van Ruyen.
What a result for Danny Van Rooyen. They'll be absolutely thrilled with that performance, and rightly so. They really put in the work and it's paid off in spades.
Some might say that second place is the first loser, but Rouen Grayling certainly doesn't see it that way. They put in a phenomenal effort and should be proud of their impressive result.
Strong work securing second place. Well done.
That was an outstanding performance from JP Brand. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium. Finishing 4th, 5th, 6th, and 15th is Richard Reshka, Benjamin Till, Taylor Randall, and Lyle Ramsey. Jacobus, Francois Haynes, and Adrian Jonker in 16th, 17th, and 8th. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Dylan Visagie is in the pits. Dylan Visagie and Joni Geldenhuys take 7th and 8th. 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th is Mike Ramsey, Jamie Nichols, Dirk Uys, and Ronnie Jonker. Followed by Lucan Haynes in 13th. Christian Hirsch brings home 14th. It looks like Christian Hirsch has been called into the pits.